So the cucumbers are happening now, folks. Let's take a look. And here's another. So welcome to the Back Garden Yard channel, folks, and today's video we are going to show you some tips and tricks to increase maybe 100, maybe 200% your yield of these delicious cucumbers. So if you're growing cucumbers and you've got them on any kind of climbing trellis, you'll want to see these tips and tricks so that you can double your yield. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pick my cucumbers for today, and I'll come back in just a second and show you what I'm talking about. So here is today's harvest, and these are some beautiful, beautiful cucumbers. You can see how big they are, and they're just so delicious and tasty. But anyway, I want to show you real quick inside here just how many more are coming. So right here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more small ones. Here's a couple of them. There's one coming. So now, I mean, they are just everywhere, hanging down. I'm about to get a huge harvest of cucumbers. And the reason is because I've used these techniques I'm about to show you. Okay. So the first technique is to cut the end off of the cucumber plant once it reaches the top of your trellis. Now, I've said this before, but what happens is, let's see if we can follow this one back down. And you can see then what will happen is the runners will come out and take off. And as they run out and take off, they'll make actually more cucumbers. And so that's what's happened here. And the cucumbers are just taking over the entire fence and running. And this is one of the runners that has come up. And it looks like a brand new plant, even though it's not. So what happens is, I've got this one here now has reached the top. So we're going to go ahead and bend it over and run it through the fence like this, and then I'm going to tie it right here to help these last cucumbers that you can see it's making. We want these last cucumbers to make, and we're going to want to have it so that it can be supported by a little bit of a tie. So let me go ahead and do that, and then of course you will see this one's going to have to be tied like that. So let's go ahead and bring it down. And here it comes. You have to be careful because they will break. And here it comes right here. And then I'm going to tie it right here. So let me get these two tied. I'm not going to make you watch the entire fence that I'm going to do, but as you see, they have reached the top. Here's one that I cut already previously, and you can see how the little cucumbers that were right there near the top are still coming out and going to make cucumbers. Is these big leaves that are way down here on the bottom, you can go ahead and you can cut them off. And if you'll cut them off, you don't want to cut one like this, so when it's supporting a cucumber, wait till you pick it, then cut that one. But then the one that's below it, we're going to go ahead and cut that one off. And what that's going to do is that's going to open up the plant so that then you can get more light down in there, and these runners are going to be growing a lot easier. But you need to kind of watch what you're doing so that you don't actually cut the ones that are supporting cucumbers. And here's one to cut. And there we go. And then we're going to cut that one. And once again, I don't like to leave them laying here. I'll come back and collect those and put them in a bucket for compost. This is one for a male flower, so we don't need it. And what that's doing is opening this up so that these runners can come out, and then they'll run on up and make more cucumbers like this. So that's cucumber tip number 2. Now cucumber tip number 3 is going to be to go ahead and fertilize these plants again if you haven't fertilized them since we planted them. And I always like to stress, when you plant them, you want to fertilize them very well. You want to wait for them to start producing, and then you want to throw more fertilizer down around the bottom. And that way then, you can see where I fertilized this one 2 days ago. And if you can, work some dirt in it. I didn't actually get a chance to work dirt around these, but it's okay. And it looks like they got a good soaking yesterday from the rains we had. And so that fertilizer will keep them growing fast and producing. The important thing to note is that they won't keep producing much longer. So what you've got to do is get as many as you can, as fast as you can, by using these techniques. And if you will do that, what will happen is you're going to get a huge crop of cucumbers. Okay folks, so I have finished this 8 feet of cucumbers, and I'll show you how it looks now. You can see where I cut the top off of that one and now tied it up to give it some support at the top. And as you go on down it, you can see where the cucumbers are now starting to grow out. And then you can see all the way down to the bottom there where there's one still growing, and I left that leaf, but I cut the lower bottom leaves off so some light can get down in here. And same thing here, I'm not cutting those leaves because they're supporting the cucumbers. But this is a good one to show you what happens. So here's the base, and then here is where a leaf was and everything, and here is a runner, and the runner has come out here and it has gone all the way up here, but it divided again, and there's another runner over here, and you can see the little cucumber that is forming on it. So that's what happens when you top one, and that's why you want to go ahead and top them and get those side runners, and that's going to double at least your crop. And like I say, if it makes double side runners, then you're going to get triple on that plant. So that's how it looks. And then up top you can see where I run them through the fence and then tied them up. Same thing here, and then same thing over here. And of course I need to go ahead and pinch this top off. I missed it a while ago. There you go. So that's the demonstration of the technique to make your cucumbers just totally go wild and produce. But don't forget to fertilize them again if you hadn't fertilized them since they started, because they're going to really need some energy to make all these cucumbers and to keep running with all these new runners. So folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little short, but I just wanted to focus on cucumbers today because I haven't really talked that much about them, but they're starting to come in and they are so good. So if you really want to grow cucumbers, put them on a trellis and then tie them up once they reach the top, pinch off the tops and get those runners, cut these leaves that are in the way out and get these runners to running, and then you're going to end up with a huge crop of cucumbers. And we do thank you for watching.